Hey, it's Russ from the Infectious Groove music channel right here on YouTube, and we are always saying in the comments of our videos, like, hey, please give us suggestions. We would love to hear from you. And today's video is brought to you by a viewer of the channel who gave us a suggestion and said, you know, you've done a lot of videos on covers in the past, and you bet songs that are better than the original, or ones where the cover is, or where the original is better than all the covers. But someone wanted us to do a video on 5 original songs and covers that we think both are great. And to be honest, this really wasn't that hard to come up with that quickly. I do have a couple in here that maybe some might view as obscure, but if these are obscure to you, I would absolutely tell you to take the moment to check them out, because I think they're absolutely great. The first one, I think, was a huge hit for both the original and the persons who covered it. And I just really like both versions of The Boys of Summer. Of course, the original being by Don Henley. And then years later, the Ataris would do a pretty straightforward cover of it. It's a little harder rock. But one thing, I'm not a big fan in covers when people change the lyrics for whatever reason, to suit their band name or to change the pronouns or whatever. It's just not a thing that I like. But with this particular one, the lyric change near the end of the song, where instead of Deadhead Stick Around a Cadillac, it's a Black Flag Stick Around a Cadillac. I like that a lot. It updates it some and means the same thing to 2 completely different generations, in my opinion. So that's one. Another one, now this is one I think is going to be, at least the cover is going to be pretty obscure, but I would tell you to check it out and see what you think. And Dr. Hook had a big hit with a song called Cover of a Rolling Stone years ago, and a lot of people have covered this song and generally done a good job. But believe it or not, the band Poison has a great cover of the song, and it's on a late 90s Poison album called Crack a Smile. I'm sure you can find it easily on streaming. And again, the intro of the song is almost verbatim to the original version, but then it gets a lot harder rock in the second half. But for me, one of the things that's cool about this is it's the reason Dr. Hook wrote the song is because of exactly what it says in the lyrics. Like, they have they have everything that rock stars are quote unquote supposed to have, except they were never cool enough to be on the cover of Rolling Stone. And that's why it's such a great cover for Poison to do, because exactly the same. Like, they were at the heights of rock stardom in the late 80s and early 90s until like 93-ish. But they were never considered cool enough to be the cover of Rolling Stone. So it's cool that they covered it in the first place, and that it's a great cover on top of that. This next one, I almost had a hard time including this, because I do like the cover more than the original, but they're both fantastic. And if nothing else, it's one of those ones where the people who wrote the original get a massive amount of credit in the first place. And that's the song Hazy Shade of Winter. The original being by Simon and Garfunkel. And then the cover from the Bengals is so good. The Bengals are one of those acts that I think most people think of at least Walk Like an Egyptian first, maybe Eternal Flame second. And I don't know if a lot of people think of this cover, but they do a fantastic job with a good take on a song that you wouldn't think a female rock group in the late 80s would be covering a folk duo from the 60s and doing a great job on it. And they do, absolutely. The next one is one that maybe falls into the lesser known category. Everyone on earth knows the original Brown Eyed Girl by Van Morrison. And to be honest, this is the one in my list of that's the most different from the original. I think that this is the one that maybe if you listen to the cover that you might go, oh, that's way too different from the original for me. But I happen to like it. The band Everclear did a cover of Brown Eyed Girl. And I don't know if it's, you know, if you're of a certain age, you've heard Brown Eyed Girl 11 billion times by Van Morrison. So I don't know if it's just my age and I had heard the original so much that I wanted to hear such a fresh take on it. But this is one of the few times where someone has gone completely different from the original, where I think it's every bit as good as the original in a completely different way. The last one I'm going to have on my list is obscure for a couple of different reasons. One, it's a cover of a Led Zeppelin song, but it's not A Whole Lot of Love or Black Dog or Stairway. And then on top of that, it's To my knowledge, this cover is only available in one place, which was on a Led Zeppelin tribute album, which hasn't been reissued or anything, and I don't believe is on streaming. So this is going to be the hardest one of all of them for you to check out, but I would tell you to check it out. Led Zeppelin has a song on Led Zeppelin 3 called Out on the Tiles, which is, I think, the most, maybe outside of Immigrant Songs, the most rockin' song on that album. It's a very acoustic, folky affair, Led Zeppelin 3 is. But Blind Melon did a cover of it that if the only thing you've ever heard by Blind Melon is No Rain, which is understandable, seek this out. When this video is over, go to YouTube, type in Blind Melon Out on the Tiles. I'm sure it's on YouTube, and just soak in that for a second. It's a fantastic cover. Now this is almost dead on. This is like almost exactly dead on to the original. But Shannon Hoon handling Robert Plant's vocals is not an easy thing to do, especially Robert Plant around the release of Led Zeppelin 3. So for me, that one's an easy way to round that out. We always say thank you to anybody who gives us topics. If you have a topic that you would like us to cover on the channel, please, by all means, drop it below. If you're the person who suggested this topic, let me know what you think of my picks. Let me know some of yours, because I assume you probably have some as well, which is why you wanted to know our opinion. We always have 4 videos now coming every single week. So if you would please hit the notification bell, make sure you know when we get new videos. And as we always say, thank you so much for watching.